So yeah, this is our virtual coffee on Tech for Good, and we're here with Bridge CTO Jaime Mateo. And Jaime is going to be giving you a mini presentation. I think it's about half an hour. Is that right, Jaime?
Yeah, more or less. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, so we're going to do like a quick half an hour presentation, talk about Tech for Good products, some examples from our community. And then we're going to go into some questions. We'd love to hear your questions and your thoughts if you guys have any, but we've prepared some kind of examples just in case. So we'll open the floor up to questions after Jaime's presentation. So I'm not going to say too much. I'll let Jaime carry on.
Thank you very much, Phoebe. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, welcome everyone to this let's say masterclass in Tech for Good. I'm gonna try to open a debate or a discussion by the end of the class. But before, I'm gonna go through my journey as as part of Bridge for Billions team, and I'm gonna also talk a little bit more about what Tech for Good means to me in general, right? I'm gonna start with a really short introduction about myself. I'm from Spain, currently based in Madrid, but I was raised in a rural area here in Spain as well. So I have this, I don't know, double side of someone that really like the city, but also someone that is really connected to the rural area, or to villages, nature, etc. When I came to Madrid when I was 18, I enrolled in telecommunications engineering in Universidad Autónoma de Madrid. It was a long journey to complete my studies. During that time, I also did an Erasmus year in the Netherlands, where I had my first international experiences. And when I completed my studies in telecom engineering, back then actually this year is wrong. I joined Bridge for Billions in September 2015. This is like 5 years ago. At that time, I was looking for, I don't know, for projects that I wanted to enroll. I really wanted to start something from scratch. I prefer to go in this direction of building something new rather than joining, I don't know, like a company, or which is like the normal way of starting your professional career. So back then I met Pablo, the Bridge for Billions CEO, and yeah, we started this journey together. At the beginning, basically, I was growing as a full stack developer during the first years at Bridge for Billions. I will go a little bit deeper on how was the journey during these 5 years, but basically I grew as developer, and then at some point I was the oldest member from the tech team in Bridge for Billions. So I kind of turned into the CTO, right? And I started to take other roles and responsibilities, like hiring, managing the tech team, coordinating with other areas of Bridge for Billions, being very connected to the business part of the company. So yeah, that's how things are going right now. And yeah, in the last years, I've also been learning different areas of technology. Like, for example, I did a DevOps bootcamp last year. And for example, now I'm studying cybersecurity. But besides this constant learning that any, I don't know, tech related job demands nowadays, I've also been a volunteer in several organizations or projects. For example, I volunteer at some point in Internet Freedom Festival, which is an NGO that promotes digital rights on the internet, especially in countries where internet access is sometimes limited. I also be part of ADA Lab as a volunteer. ADA Lab is a women programming school here in Spain, and basically they have the mission of reducing the gender divide in tech works, in tech positions. So yeah, I've been helping them with the students. And also right now I'm starting to collaborate as a mentor in Leader, which is a new CTO bootcamp. They are based in Barcelona, and they basically want to create this bootcamp for tech leadership. And I will be also part of that community. Okay, so that's a bit about me. I want to start talking a bit more about Tech for Good. And when I joined this, well, when I decided to do this session, the very first thing that I did is to grab a paper and a pen, and I started to think by myself what technology for good means to me. And I started to write down different, I don't know, ideas, different words, and then I clustered them. And I basically came up with these three, I don't know, three main ideas or three, yeah, three things that to me are really connected to technology for good. And yeah, I'm gonna go to explain a little bit more on them. The first one is about generating a positive and sustainable impact. We all know that technology doesn't have a purpose on its own, and technology it's not good or bad. It can be the use of technology or the development, the design of technology can turn into a really positive thing or a negative thing. I think we have seen this in many examples. We have seen it many times. But one of the examples that I wanted to bring today, because I think it's quite clear, is the technology of social networks. I do think social networks have a huge impact, positive impact, in a sense that connect people, connect communities, connect family, friends. During this crazy year with COVID, I think it was clear that having these technological products were actually great for everyone. But at the same time, these technologies are also capable of bringing some bad negative um, impact, right? So, for example, with social networks, the polarization of communities due to the fake news, all these things that are also happening still nowadays in social networks are doing of this technology something that is not good for humanity, right? So I think technology for good should always generate a positive and sustainable impact, and the people behind that should be always capable of controlling that. The second idea that I came up with is that technology, in order to be good, should create solutions that are inclusive, accessible, and diverse by default. This is very connected to the vision that we have at Bridge for Billions, that basically entrepreneurship should happen. I mean, entrepreneurship access should be everywhere, should be accessible from any part of the world, because the talent is everywhere. So this is kind of related. I think we need tech solutions that are including all the communities, right? And this is related, for example, with product design or product development. There shouldn't be communities that are not feel represented in the products that we are building, just because in the design part of it we haven't thought of these users. But also I think technology should come from many different type of type of people and communities and gender and race. Um, and then here we have a lot of things to work still in tech. When I was studying engineering back then in school, and I finished 5 years ago, so it's not that far. Only 7% of my colleagues in engineering were women. So I think that's a big issue, because if we want to create technology for good, I do think that it should be diverse, and we should, besides being a user, we should also be, diversity should also be part in the development part of the technology, right? In that way, we will be able to create inclusive solutions. Um, then the third idea that I wanted to share today is, as I said, technology doesn't have a purpose on its own, but the people, the companies that are developing, that are building technology, do have a purpose, right? And the purpose can be many different things, but I think more and more we are seeing companies, we are seeing entrepreneurs, we are seeing founders that are going in a different direction when starting companies, and they are putting the purpose in the center of the the company, in the center of the project, right? And that takes me to the next slide, where I want to give you the example of Brits for Billions, which in where everyone here in the team are sharing the mission, right? And we are all purpose driven. So here you can read the mission of Brits for Billions, which basically is having a world in which everyone everywhere can access opportunities to unleash their entrepreneurial potential and generate sustainable solutions for themselves and others. So from the things that I said before here, I mean, we are talking about diversity. We are really pushing for finding entrepreneurship ecosystems everywhere in the world. So that's also pushing towards having more products, more companies that are from different backgrounds, and for sure there will be good for their communities. And yeah, that's our purpose, and that's what has driven us through all this journey that started 6 years ago, and basically that it's been at the core of the business since the beginning. Here you can see visualization of what a startup journey could look like. So in the case of Bridge for Billions, yeah, we started with the idea back then in Carnegie Mellon University with the co-founders. Then we started to prototype, to do everything that we do online but offline. Then we tested that prototype, we validated the idea. Then we built a MVP version of our current platform, and then we got our first clients. From there, we have been, I don't know, dealing with many challenges like investment, like team scaling, and still today we are still, I don't know, encountering and discovering many other things. But all through this journey, we have always made sure that the vision is at the core of the business, that everyone that joined the team is purpose driven and share the mission. And yeah, this is our direction. So all this purpose driven mentality and all these workforce that has led to where we are today has allowed us to achieve different things. And if we go back to what I was discussing before about building a technology that in our case is an online platform, an online incubator, why is this technology good? Well, we can see here some I don't know, some metrics that I think they are actually impacting, right? And we can see here the number of entrepreneurs that we have supported in all these 5 years, the number of countries they come from, the percentage of female founders, that it's quite high comparing with other incubators. And basically, yeah, we are proud of these numbers, but at the very end, the impact that Bridge for Billions is doing, it's the impact that our entrepreneurs are doing with their products, and some of them with their technological products. Here, yeah, I'm gonna highlight just 3 of the many entrepreneurs that have passed through the LEAP program and have built technological products. And yeah, there are many examples, but I just picked these 3 because I really like them. Maria Andreina, she's from Venezuela, and she's the founder of Wakuyi, which is a online platform that solves the problems of local businesses with the booking and the management, right? So it's basically bringing the digital era to these businesses that are very, you know, the typical business from your neighborhood that is physically and is not still online and have to compete with other online businesses. I think this year, what would you like? Was actually came at the best time, because with COVID we have seen that many local businesses need to reinvent themselves or really needed to move into the digital world in order to keep operating. So I really hope Wakuyi is doing a great job, and yeah, really proud of having her with us during the LEAP program. Then there is also Francis from Cameroon. He has built eDoctor, which is a telemedicine platform for online medical consultations. And again, in a year where telemedicine has been, I don't know, the solution for many of the issues with the pandemic, I really think it's really good example of technology for good, definitely. And then the third one that I choose, because it's my favorite project from the LEAP since ever, Milwaukee, from Alvaro de Francisco. He built this online platform to help shelters and rescuers and public administrations with the adoption of animals. And for someone that is vegan and animalist, yeah, I really like. Well, the platform is awesome. It's getting really big in Spain. So I think also in Latin America they are operating now. So if you are looking for adoption of animals, they have bring all the information about animals being able to adopt it to this online platform. So again, another example of technology for good. Okay, the very last thing before going to the debate, this is a screenshot of our platform. Maybe some of you know, others don't, but Bridge for Billions incubation program is structured in 8 modules, what we call it business creation tools. And the 7th tool, it's called Impact Plan. This means that within the program, there is one core module that it's all about impact, the impact of your company, the impact of your project, right? So in this, I'm gonna open it because I think it will be great to see it online. So here, this is the platform, okay? This is the tool 6 impact plan. I wanted to highlight this step that is called sustainable development goals. I don't know if you have heard of it, but it's related to the 2030 agenda. And actually today I saw in the news that it's the 5th anniversary of the SDGs. 5 years ago, these goals were agreed on that we will have to work on them by 2030 if we wanted to solve the most challenging problems that we have today in the world as in humanity. And we have this as a step in the impact plan. All through this tool, you will be working on your impact statement. You will write your vision and your mission. You will understand the difference between both of them, and then you will be able to learn more about what SDG is, what does the SDG mean, and what are the fights in every SDG, right? So you can kind of link, or at least think how your project, your product, or your technology can help society to fix or to contribute to any of these sustainable development goals, right? Yeah, so I'm really open for questions regarding this, regarding the other topics that I mentioned here. I don't know how many people are here, or if you already wrote some questions in the channel, but if not, I want you to, I would like you to, if not answering now, at least reflect on these questions that came to my mind when I was preparing this workshop. For example, like how do you think technological products are enough inclusive and diverse today? Or for example, if you know any companies that are creating a positive and sustainable impact through technology, why do you think they are doing it? Those that are not, how you think they can be closer to the communities, local problems, challenges of starting a tech for good company, or finding diversity in tech talent. These are some questions that I wanted to bring to you, and I'm really happy to hear your ideas or any other questions that you might have.
Okay. Perfect. So I don't think we have any questions in the chat. I'm just checking. But does anyone have any of their own questions? Feel free to just unmute yourself, or if you can't do that, just write them in the chat.
Hi, do you hear me? Sorry. Go ahead, Sarah.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Jaime, for the presentation. It was quite interesting. I wanted to ask you, before seeing this last slide, what did you mean by inclusive technology or inclusive solution? I don't know if you mean inclusive by affordability, or in terms of if it's easy to use, or how.
So it's a bit of everything, and I think to answer your question, I can let you know the big challenge that we have today at Bridge for Billions with inclusivity from the technological or product point of view. We have a lot of programs, incubation programs, that are happening in countries where internet access is just okay, right? It's just okay, and sometimes entrepreneurs have to go to a hub or to a school where there is internet. So when we built back then Bridge for Billions product, we say, okay, an online incubation platform, but we were not considering that there might be users that might be affected by, for example, connectivity problems because of your location. Of course, you have to prioritize, and when you start a business and starting to design a product, this is also part of the incubation program. You have to understand your customer segments, and you have to prioritize, of course. You cannot go for everything, but we always have to have in mind that not everyone might be included in your first idea of product, right? And for inclusivity, I mean that that there might be users that might not be able to use the product. Also, 2 years ago, we were talking with ONCE, which is an organization here in Spain for blind people. And we, at the end, we didn't do this program together, but it was also a big challenge to turn our platform, our technology to something that blind people could use in an easy way, right? So that's what I mean by inclusivity from the user's point of view.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Jan, did you have a question?
Yeah, just one sec. I go to a room where there is no noise. There you go. Okay. Hi, Jaime, thank you very much. And thanks to Bridge for Billion for animating all the different talks. Like, I've been participating to the 4 of them. And I think, yeah, this is one of the most interesting with the second one, but this is personal, of course. The thing is that I'm following a lot on the tech for good side of things, because I'm really involving myself more and more with all what is blockchain technology related and all the capacity that it has in all its different aspects, whether it's financial inclusion, governance, traceability, and all of this. But behind the concept of tech for good companies, what I find very hard to kickstart any even like process of ideation or anything like this is the fact that it's very much capital intensive to date. So how would you eventually approach this kind of ideas that are to build businesses that are tech-based, knowing that you will need a very big investment from the very beginning? And so how do you like kind of overcome this? Okay, all right, but at first there is a big blockade that I can see right now. It's that if I don't leverage $500,000 or something like this, there is no way that this can be built.
Thank you, Jan, for your question. I mean, it's really good, and I think it's one of the questions that everyone that is working with technology today and it's aiming for good struggles with, right? And in Bridge for Billions, for example, we have also encountered these issues with investment when you really don't find yourself in a, I don't know, in a type of Silicon Valley company, but you are not either an NGO, right? So we are kind of in the middle of both, and I think it's still there's left maturity in the startups ecosystem. It's still soon to start seeing more and more companies that are connected to a vision that is aligned with SDGs and all these type of things. From my experience at Bridge for Billions, I think since the investment is one of the key, the key challenges for developing any technological product, I will say that impacted investment is the way to go. It's how in Bridge for Billions, our investors are impact investors, are not business angels. It's not, we are not in this grow as like a type of Silicon Valley startup. But there are though investors that are really looking for projects that are more thinking of these social problems, and I really hope that when we talk about sustainability in the long term, companies that are going for this will really make the difference. Yeah, since we are basically providing solutions for problems that are gonna be there, and yeah, so
okay,
but
so,
it's really hard. No?
So if I can just pick on what you just said. So basically you're advising eventually to niche your product towards a very strong impact that is resolving today's problematics in whatever field you're trying to evolve, and then approach those impact donors that you're talking about, or these investors that are looking for these heavily socially oriented project with big impact. And from there you build on, right?
Mhm. Yeah, that's exactly how I will proceed. First of all, yeah, you have to build a MVP that it's of course has technology, because at least that's what we did back then. And when you demonstrate that your technology, your product does have a market, and you can I mean, you can start having your first clients and they are okay with it, they find the value in your MVP. Then if you are connected to this vision that is more aligned with social issues, or with these SDGs, and you want your company to be to put that vision at the core of the company, there are investors out there that are looking for solutions that are like this. And yeah, as soon as you demonstrate that your project is viable and sustainable financially, that doesn't mean that you cannot focus on this type of more impact-oriented things. Also, some, I don't know, some data that maybe for you is interesting. Bridge for Billions an American company, and we are legally there a benefit corporation. This means that besides the financial stability and the sustainable financial sustainability, we have to also demonstrate at the end of the year that we are generating an impact. For example, that legal company thing, it doesn't exist, for example, in Spain, but for example, in the States, it's called benefit corporation. So if you are registered like that, I'm sure you will have access to other type of grants or other type of funding opportunities.
If I can just add as well, because I think this is a good time to mention it. Jaime, like you mentioned that everyone at Bridge, all of the team are very purpose driven, and I think increasingly, especially for impact investment, investors are looking to see, a team that is diverse, dynamic, aligned with the mission. And I think that's something that can help you reach that kind of next level of investment, because they're going to be trusting the team to deliver what they've promised, if you like. And coincidentally, we have actually just launched our Global Investors Network. So if you are interested in coming to any of the chats on investment, we have like a lot of experts on investment for startups. I'm going to leave the link in the chat below for everyone. They're coming up over the next few weeks. And for example, this one isn't confirmed yet, but we have, I guess, like a success story from our community of an entrepreneur that has just launched a tech startup through investment. So I think, yeah, it could be useful to some of you. I'll leave the link in the chat.
There are some comments that I can read from Eme. These heavy capital requirements are another aspect that further expand the inequality gap. Regarding big impact, Singularity University, for example, encourages projects that will positively impact 1 billion people. Yeah, public benefit corporation. I don't believe the European Union has an equivalent legal entity. Yeah, we don't believe that either, that we don't have. I thought maybe in other countries in Europe, this legal entity existed, but maybe not. But at least in Spain, doesn't exist. So, and it really helped to be recognized as benefit corporation. I think here in Spain, yeah, exactly. We have the the B Corp, which is kind of more like a certificate, I think, for companies that demonstrate that they have a positive impact, yeah, in many ways, but it's a private certification, exactly. So yeah, we are really yeah, trying to bring this problem to, I don't know, to our networks, and hopefully we can see this legal entity soon in Europe. I think is the way to go, at least for the companies that are aligned with these missions and goals. Is there any success on Spanish crowdfunding platforms? I'm not sure I understand the question. Do you mean that if a Spanish crowdfunding
I can clarify if you'd like.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, Spain has their own crowdfunding platform similar to Indiegogo or Kickstarter. For example, I think Lanzadora is one in Spain, I'm not sure. But my understanding is that you can try and get funding through these. I believe Spain has put a $1 million cap for small businesses on what they can earn. But my question is whether or not the Spanish public actually embraces these crowdfunding platforms. Is it really possible to successfully earn anything there?
I know, for example, I don't know the one you mentioned, but for example, one that is from Spain and it's relatively big. It's called Goteo, goteo.org, and they
Will you write
do
that in the chat, please?
Yeah, it's.
Thanks.
Let me open right here, because this is completely oriented to goteo.org. It's completely oriented to impact, well, impact or let's say social impact campaigns, right? But I don't know how big they are, but they are really, I don't know, aligned with sustainability, impact. And for example, back then I have participated in some of these campaigns. But yeah, it's still, I think, very local. What you can find in Goteo are very local campaigns, which is also fine. I think many entrepreneurs and founders are starting because they have problems in their local communities, and they start with friends and family investment through these campaigns. So I will say that this one, and I think the other one that is that it's from Spain, or at least I think they are from Barcelona. It's Ulele, but this one is more like Indiegogo. Like this is more, yeah, you can find here more different type of projects and companies. But yeah, these two are the ones that here are big and working well. Total.
Thank you for that.
No problem. You're welcome.
Hi, Jaime. I have a question here. I'm Fred from Mexico, and I don't know if the question is for you, Jaime, or Bridge for Billions. And actually, I have a lot of questions, and sorry for joining a little bit late, but just a quick context. I'm half French and half Mexican, so I know Tech for Good in France is very advanced, and I like the way it's impulsing, fomenting new projects in France. But here in Mexico, well, I've been working in a project for 5 months, and frankly, I feel a little bit lonely here in Mexico. So I did a little research, and that's why I knew and I found Bridge for Billions. So I don't know. You talked a little bit about founding, right, and financing the projects, but what about the community of Tech for Good in the world, and well, particularly if you have view on Mexico, it will be helpful. But I was wondering if Bridge for Billions could be the one help I need here in Mexico, and how you can help me regarding my situation. I am in a phase where I do not have any clients yet, so I have not proven my model. And yeah, so the question is, what about the community of Tech for Good, maybe, and the impact or the help that can provide Bridge for Billions in the world?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you very much for your question. Okay, so regarding Mexico, it's interesting because I guess you heard from us, because we just started a new chapter of Bridge for Billions. We always operated from Spain, and we were our programs were mainly in Europe. But at the beginning of the year, we started this collaboration with two really important organizations in Latin America that are really trying to impulse the entrepreneurship ecosystems there. So yeah, since summer we have a team in Mexico, and we are growing our team there because Latin America is our next chapter, and we really want to reach all the entrepreneurs that are in this continent through different networks, programs, organizations. So I really think that I can connect you with the team that is working right now from Mexico and really understands the ecosystems there. From my point of view, which is tech, I'm in contact with Laboratoria, that it's I talked in the previous slide about AdaLab, which is a programming school for women.
Sorry, so, I joined late after, I joined just after this slide.
No problem. Yeah, so I said at the beginning that I volunteer in AdaLab, which is a programming school for women to reduce the gender balance in tech roles. And in Mexico, they have something very similar, which is called Laboratoria, Laboratoria, and it's actually quite big. I think they have been teaching or forming female programmers, developers, during the last 5 years, and I think they are well connected with all the tech communities from Mexico, and without being really connected to the Mexico tech communities, I do think they are definitely one place to look at, because I'm sure they are connected to a lot of diverse communities. For example, there is also I Don't Hack Mexico, which is another. I'm just talking about programming schools because I'm right now looking for talent in Mexico in terms of developers. So I'm just talking with them, and with this first collaboration that I'm starting to do this potential hiring, we are looking forward to build more networks and to collaborate in any other ways, at least from my point of view, with all the technological communities that are based in Mexico. So yeah, I think if you follow Bridge for Billions in our networks, or if you join the program and then the community, you will start finding Mexican founders, Mexican entrepreneurs, and communities, since it's our direction right now. We are growing there.
Okay, and just what would be the way the easiest way to contact Bridge for Billions here in Mexico? Sorry.
So I can give you the contact of the kind of the lead of Latin America Bridge for Billions teams. Her name is Sarah Lee, and I'm gonna write in here in the chat, Sarah at bridgeforbillions.org. Okay, And you can tell her, you can just drop her an email, and you can ask her, you can just tell her, hi, I'm in Mexico. She's in Mexico City with some other teammates. I'm trying to connect with communities here in Mexico regarding entrepreneurship, technology. She lives there. She has been living in Mexico for 3 years, and she's part of our, for a part of Bridge for Billions, and she's leading the LATAM business development. So I'm pretty sure she can help you with anything. You can also CC me in the email, so I can be also aware of the conversation and connect you with technological communities.
Awesome, thank you.
And Fred, in terms of whether you'd be at the right stage for the LEAK program, for example, from what you described, you probably would be at the right stage. And although we don't call ourselves, I guess, specifically a tech incubator, the majority of early stage startups that go through our program are tech. We do have quite a large chunk that's IT and high tech, but like a lot of them, like medical, fashion, like all the different sectors, like a lot of them are online platforms, so they all usually relate back to tech in a specific way, in some kind of way. So a lot of our community is made up of tech entrepreneurs and mentors.
Thanks.
Anyone else got any questions or any thoughts?
Just made. Sorry, who was talking?
No, it was me. It was me. Go ahead.
Okay, no, just.
Oops.
Of entrepreneurs, Bridge for Billions support. And I was just curious about how do you report back?
Can you hear
Does
Frederick?
all the efforts of all the entrepreneurs, do you hear? Sorry. Hi, Jaime?
Yeah, it's cutting a bit, Frederick.
Hello?
So I don't know if better to write it down in the chat because I couldn't hear.
Okay.
Well.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's just me. Phoebe, can you hear well, Frederick?
No, it was cutting slightly at the end, but Frederick, I'm not sure if it's better now because I think we can hear you okay now. If you try to speak again now.
No, I think he has problems. But I think you can write it down in the chat, Frederick, and I can answer.
Just out of interest, while we're waiting for Frederick's question, how many people here are bridge entrepreneurs? I do recognize a couple of you.
Or mentors, no?
Or mentors, of course.
Is there any mentor?
Yeah. M, is it M? Is that how you say your name?
I beg your pardon. I'm not a mentor, I'm an entrepreneur.
You're an entrepreneur.
My thumb went up right as you changed the topic.
Perfect.
Is it better now? Sorry.
Yeah, now I can hear you, Frederick. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, bad internet here. Yeah, my question was because you said on slide 7, no, that your Bridge for Billions helps to measure impacts, and I understood that it's a little aligned with the objective of the United Nations. So I was wondering if you report back to someone in the United Nations to add all those efforts, and someone at the top, I don't know, in the United Nations take those numbers, and I don't know if I'm being clear.
From what I understand, maybe you mean if we are talking to United Nations in a way to try to collaborate in a way, right? Or try to bring them our numbers on the SDG that we are working. Actually, with the United Nations, with UNIDO, which is one, I'm not really the person to talk about this, but we have been talking a lot with UNIDO, which is part of the United Nations, and I think we have done some programs in the past, or we are collaborating in some way. And basically, I can come complete. I think Jan.
Yeah, I can come complete. Like basically, I went to visit you, Bridge for Billion. I'm part of the team in UNIDO that was building this partnership with Bridge for Billion. So I can, if you want, like I can just like come and assist if you need like any specifics on the thing. Now I left the United Nations to build my own thing, but like used to be there until last year.
Yeah, so yeah, you can see here that also United Nations have been part of Bridge in a way, in some collaboration. So Jan, if you want to answer Frederick about this collaboration, because I'm not really aware. I know that from Pablo and Julie that we have talked in the past, but
yeah, that was no, I mean, like it's still an ongoing process from what I've known. Like I was talking with Pablo, I think like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago now. Like time is a bit flying with this quarantine thingy. Yeah, basically there are a lot of markers that are there to be verified, that a lot of KPIs, key performance indicators that have been defined for the sustainable development goals achievements. And what the United Nations is doing is more and more partnering with private sector, social impact oriented enterprises or groups or investors in order to reach all those goals. And the simplest way to do it is just to measure whether some of the impact or the key performance indicators that one enterprise or one group or an entrepreneur is trying to reach is actually aligned with the one defined by the SDGs, right? So that's where you find the bridges in between both worlds. But as per se, it's through partnership that you achieve this. It will not be everybody reporting back to the United Nations to be able to say, hey, I'm working on this, I achieved that, etc. There is no centralization that would be enormous. It would not be able to work like that. But through what UNIDO has been doing in terms of entrepreneurship and what we've been developing and participating to SDG 9 actually is the one that UNIDO is in charge of implementing. And of course, we have like sites, intervention on all what is like related with decent work, inclusion, decent life, etc. So on all of that, we've been partnering with Bridge to include part of what is Bridge doing online, the incubation online, to support some of the entrepreneurial projects at UNIDO in order to facilitate access or develop even access and develop also cross-continental knowledge and know-how exchange in order for people that have knowledge, for example, in Europe or from the diaspora, also in the United States, Canada, to be able to bring it eventually in less connected zones. So that's what you guys been doing basically with UNIDO.
Thank you very much, Jan, for this
no worries.
Thank you, Jan.
Summary. Similar to, just to close, because since Frederick, you are based in Mexico, just to give you the names, the same that what it's been happening with UNIDO in Latin America, the two organizations that are working together with us to bring this this entrepreneurship support there. I'm gonna write them in the chat. One of them is Argidius and the other one is PES Latam. So both of them are working together with us in Latin America to bring this support to. So just if you are thinking of doing some networking or anything, I think it could be interesting for you to follow these two organizations that are like talking to us every day.
Perfect. Thanks, Jaime, and thank you so much for your presentation. I hope everybody found it valuable. I'm sure everybody did. And thank you all for joining in the question session at the end. And if you want to message either me, so I'm Phoebe. I'll leave my email in the chat. I do content at Bridge, but you can also message me if you're interested in joining the Leap or you're interested in becoming a mentor. I can pass you on to the right person. And I'm sure, Jaime, you're willing to take any questions or follow-ups as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. If you have any questions, you can reach me in LinkedIn or drop me an email, jaime@bridgeforbillions.org. And yeah, we are really glad to have you here. And yeah, I hope to chat to you soon.
Great. Thank you all. Thanks all for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Bye bye.